In this installment of Animation Preservation, we'll be looking at an unaired Cartoon Network spectacle and praising it for all the wrong reasons.
Where the fuck are we?
Created in the 1990s by Genndy Tartakovsky, Dexter's Laboratory began as a short pitched for the Hanna-Barbera anthology series What a Cartoon by Fred Siebert. Naturally, the cartoon gathered an increasing interest, resulting in 4 original pilots airing on Cartoon Network. Once again, this helmed an overwhelmingly positive response. The result of this became the original broadcast show as we know it today. Consisting of 52 half-hour style episodes, this portion of the show ran from 1996 to mid-1998. Marking the end for Tartakovsky's full involvement with the show, it wrapped with the intended finale movie, Dexter's Laboratory Ego Trip, as he left to start production on Samurai Jack. Although Dexter's Laboratory continued for an additional 2 seasons under showrunner Chris Savino, there was one episode Tartakovsky held back on. Rumours and speculation surrounded this episode for many years, almost provoking a cult following about whether this spectacle even existed. Rude Removal is the so-called banned episode of this series coined for its inappropriate nature. As a result, it was shelved and thought to never see the light of day. According to IMDb, it is counted as part of the original run, placed as episode 0 of the 2nd season. Amongst the other episodes, this was intended to be a genuine contribution written for the original show. With this in mind, the controversy has since been compared to the infamous Man's Best Friend episode of Ren and Stimpy. Although it is technically part of the series, it came across as too extreme in comparison to other episodes of the show. Rude Removal contained excessive profanity and adult situations pushing boundaries for comedic effect. Bizarrely, this segment was described as very funny at the time by Linda Semensky, who was the vice president of Cartoon Network's original programming. As per standards and practices, it was decided this short was unsuitable and was never to be aired on television. Semensky continued stating it would probably air better late at night, possibly as a one-off event. Throughout the mid-2000s, the idea of an episode unseen by the fandom was somewhat scandalous and met with high skepticism. Even though the existence of said episode remained an enigma, it was a rarity to find a confirmed acknowledgement of its existence to begin with. Written by Chong Lee and Craig McCracken, show creator Genndy Tartakovsky reportedly brought the episode to a variety of festivals and conventions. He played the short at various screenings where it's thought the original airing was on February 21st, 1998. This was during a panel at the World Animation Celebration event. Sadly, there is no video footage or raw reactions to this short from around this time period. From the minimal acknowledgements of this screening found online, the cartoon was praised, evoking laughter and enjoyment. Event participants clearly recognized the exclusivity of an unaired children's cartoon which, ironically, was not intended for a younger audience. This becomes all the more intriguing as we explore the reactionary side to this short. Delving deeper into the mystery, on May 22, 2007, a forum user known as Typhoid Timmy submitted a detailed post to the Big Cartoon Forum. Claiming to have seen the episode, sadly, the original post is no longer available, but he did provide a detailed recollection of the Comic-Con event. The following is a quote from the user which can be found on most sources relating to Rude Removal, providing details of the screening experience.
I was in attendance at the only showing of Dexter's Rude Removal, at the first showing at Comic-Con. I have been told it was shown censored at other places. This was the only showing with the gloves off, uncensored. I was asked to register here to post and explain the plot. The panel for Dexter was with special guest being Genndy, who delighted us with some oncoming specials and such. He then hinted that he also wanted to show us something truly special at the end. Nearing the end, a girl from Cartoon Network stood up and announced that everyone under 18 needed to stand up and be giving something special, but had to leave. The kids filed out as the adults kind of looked at each other with a big question mark over our heads. Genndy kept grinning. After all the kids were shooed, Genndy looked at the remaining 20 to 30 of us and said, "We made something special as an in-house project to show only at Cartoon Network parties and the like. I loved it so much, and you guys are gonna get a treat." Dexter's Rude Removal. The girl then stood in front of us and warned us with bodily harm if she caught any of us taping anything, or even remembering hard. She was pretty much managing it, getting out there and torpedoing Cartoon Network with lawsuits. I want you people to know this would never be made public. So count yourself extremely lucky. Finally, Gandhi shooed her away. Title screen, Dexter's rude removal. Dexter is mooning us, and Dee Dee is flipping us the bird. Oh boy.
The event description clearly states how exclusive this Comic-Con panel was supposed to remain. Although leaking the event and plot details online may not have been such a great idea, it did give longtime fans a taste of what they were missing out on. Just like anything you read online, however, there are of course those who are still skeptical. The forum user goes on to detail the plot of the episode itself, quoting the dialogue to make reference to the explicit language that was used. Beyond this, it was unknown whether the short would ever be seen by the public eye. Many forums speculated its existence across Yahoo Answers, Tumblr, and 4chan in the hopes of uncovering the episode for public viewing. Cartoon Network had been approached several times about rude removal. Surprisingly, they did not deny knowledge of the episode's existence, but made it abundantly clear it was not something they had in their media archive. Things were still looking all the more unlikely for the public to see this short, but Tartakovsky was apparently still showing rude removal at a limited capacity. At this point in time, the latest known screening of the short was during a lecture at the Rhode Island School of Design in 2008. It looked as though the only way to uncover this short was to approach the creator himself. On September 27, 2012, during an Ask Me Anything event on Reddit, Genndy Tartakovsky received many questions. There was one question, however, that stood out from the rest and arguably made history for the events yet to come. Reddit user DyingBreed360 posted the following.
There's a joke going around how finding Dexter's rude removal being the hardest thing to find since the Holy Grail. Is there any chance you'll make it available for the fans, or does Cartoon Network have you on some sort of gag order?
This was arguably the catalyst for the episode's public release. Genndy replied stating that next time he does a public appearance, he would bring the episode with him. Thankfully, we did not need to wait too long for it to receive a public release. Generating a stir, the vocal majority caught the attention of the evening programming block Adult Swim. Twitter trends looked to Adult Swim, who entertained the idea of acquiring a copy of the previously banned episode in the hopes of airing it on TV. At this point in time, this was approximately 15 years after the short was created. It was thought that all along this was just a cruel joke and that the episode would still remain a mystery unseen to the public eye. In early December 2012, all speculation was suddenly swept aside. Adult Swim released a sequence of promos in the form of tweets and a short video stating, "We've got it." Finally, the short had been acquired, and it was only a matter of time before it would be shown. From my understanding, the original intention was to air the short on Adult Swim's programming block as a one-off special event. Sadly, this did not happen in favour of uploading the video online. Having now seen the short, I feel this was likely the best option in order to make it more readily available. The video was scheduled to premiere on the Adult Swim official website along with their YouTube channel. In order for this to remain relevant and popular, the hashtag #TellJeff began to float around. This was used to encourage fans who would tweet this remark as a reminder for Jeff to upload the video. On January 20th, 2013, Adult Swim posted a Dexter update in order to keep up with the fan demand. The image tweeted was the official title card for rude removal, showing Dexter mooning and Dee Dee giving the middle finger. 2 days later, the short was finally released. Many praised Adult Swim for their dedication to releasing the short. Although the release was unfortunately censored, which took me by surprise, it still got the point across. Luckily, there are uncensored fan edits available, making for a memorable episode of Dexter's Laboratory. Given a simplistic plot, the short began like any other episode. Dee Dee annoys Dexter to the point of frustration, leading us to Dexter's latest invention, the rude removal system. I loved the dialogue during this introduction, making reference to previous episodes of the show. Dexter reveals the device and proceeds to narrate how it works. I found the directions comical, with the end result being a happy Dexter. One argument later, Dee Dee then suddenly pelts Dexter across the lab and into the Rude Removal system, activating the device. A typical cartoony fight of arms, legs, and a cloud of dust throws both characters into the device's holding cell. This then goes to activate the Rude Removal procedure. Once the process is complete, Dexter and Dee Dee step out of the cell only to be completely changed from their usual character traits. Seemingly much happier than before, both characters acquire estranged British accents.
Bravo, Dexter! Quite.
They both applaud the device for removing their rude tendencies. This leads us to the second holding cell, which has created two juxtaposing clones of the main characters. Arguably written for the shock factor, the next scene is perfect for the unexpected surprise.
Where the fuck are we? Beats the crap out of me!
I can only imagine how thrilling this must have been for the uncensored screening. With some minor changes to the character aesthetics, primarily the hairstyles with jagged edges, we are introduced to the rude versions of our protagonists. With a short scene of conflict, the dialogue is the main draw for humour. I love how both sets of siblings have stereotyped accents following the Rude Removal procedure. The British accent is used to the advantage of sounding innocent and eloquent, whereas the rude siblings speak with a New York accent, therefore making their spoken dialogue much more amusing. After an unfriendly introduction, the rude doppelgangers follow the sound of the mother calling Dexter and Dee Dee for lunch. Things don't improve where Dexter brutally insults the mother's cooking, causing her to faint.
I think it tastes like shit!
These next few scenes antagonizing the mother are absolutely hilarious, resulting in a phenomenal payoff for the episode. After a brief food fight, the mother attempts to regain control, only for the rude Dexter to answer back as both siblings leave the kitchen. This infuriates the mother even more. Coming across the original siblings, the rude pair excuse themselves as they go to fuck up Dexter's lab. This is where Dexter and Dee Dee pay the price for the rudeness of their doppelgangers, forced to clean the kitchen only to overhear the chaos upstairs. Leaving the sweetest of notes for their mother, the siblings investigate the destruction, asking for them to stop what they are doing. Juxtaposing the usual character traits, Dexter and Dee Dee work together and intentionally mislead their rude doppelgangers with the idea of duplicating more rude clones to cause even more pandemonium. As they enter the Rude Removal chamber, the sequence is reversed, thus restoring the original Dexter and Dee Dee. Their arguments continue, replicating the beginning of the episode as the mother stands over the siblings, threatening the bar of soap to wash out their filthy mouths.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit indeed. For an unusual cartoon spectacle, this short is honestly one of the funniest and most interesting pieces of previously undiscovered media. I am thankful to see, in the end, it was discovered. Understandably, the plot for this episode is extremely simplistic and cliched at times. I feel, however, this does work to the advantage of making something extremely different about an episode of Dexter's Laboratory feel like any other episode of the show. Everything remains consistently the same, aside from the obvious. And on that note, thank you for watching this episode of Animation Preservation. I hope you found this video to be of interest. If you did, be sure to leave me a like down below. Let me know in the comments how you feel about a childhood cartoon having an unknowingly hilarious dark side. Does this change how you feel about Dexter's Lab? And for more content, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, DVD Review Studios.
Are you threatening me?